Could I have a refund, please? This gun doesn't seem to work.
I don't know.
Ah!
Looks like it works to me.
Is it possible to beat Borderlands 2 fast enough to get a Steam refund? If you didn't know, Steam is a policy that lets you refund any game you play for less than 2 hours. But if I beat the whole game within that time, could I still get my money back? And is this even possible with a game that takes about 30 hours to complete? Well, speedrunners have been pushing the limits of Borderlands 2 for many years now, and the new game world record is under 2 hours. But after you add the time it takes to launch the game and watch the unskippable intro cutscene, that only gives me 10 seconds to work with. To make this a bit more possible, I'm going to use a Steam launch option called No Movies. This allows me to skip the intro cutscene and a 25-second cutscene later in the game. But with how RNG heavy Borderlands 2 is, will this be enough? Well, there's only one way to find out. I start by choosing Gage. She's the fastest character for new game runs, mainly because of these two skills, which I'll get into later. I should also mention that I'm playing on version 1.1 of Borderlands 2, which allows me to use some glitches that no longer work on the latest update. Anyway, the first part of this run is fairly easy, as long as you ignore all the claptrap dialogue. Thankfully, I can skip some by killing myself in-game and flinging my body at a save station to spawn on the other side of the wall. I then shoot some baby monkeys, which unfortunately angered their mother, so I performed a glitch called weapon merging. This glitch allows me to merge weapon attributes like crit damage from my sniper onto my character. I do this by swapping away from my sniper, then I open my inventory before the swap finishes. I then switch my sniper to another equip slot, which tricks the game into thinking I'm still holding it. This gives my SMG 160% extra crit damage. I get to Larsberg and one-shot all the bandits, since the starting sniper can just do that for some reason. The sniper does have a slow fire rate, so one trick I do is double shotting. If you hold shoot then press reload and then melee, you can shoot another bullet immediately after, bypassing the fire rate cap of weapons. I meet Hamlock, then clear out some camps of bandits before doing a grenade jump into Boom Boom's arena. I thought I could ditch Claptrap here, but somehow he finds a way to follow me. I make sure I'm just under level 4 so when I enter I can get level up bonus for the fight. And with a precise lineup I can use this to kill Big Bertha before the cutscene even plays, making the fight very easy. On my way to Claptrap, the bandits do ruin my grenade jump twice, so I have to run all the way around. Since I need to play so close to world record, this time loss had me a bit worried. Flint was a clean fight at least. I stood in the right spot to block him, then picked his nose with my sniper barrel. After that, I do a couple Boom Boom kills to hit level 7, then drive to Sanctuary. If you get to the gate button fast enough, you can skip some dialogue, which allows me to pick up this echo faster. When I get to Reese, I interact on him using my scroll wheel. Doing this skips dialogue and makes the Power Core Psycho spawn faster. Sadly, this also makes Reese die faster, but hey, gotta go fast. I do boring Sanctuary things, then enter Frostburn. The main goal here while running through is to collect as much XP as possible while not losing too much time. I also grab the Lasco, which will be my main gun until level 10. I talk to Lilith 100 times with scroll wheel, which sounds miserable, but this actually skips dialogue and starts the fight instantly. And with crit merging on my Lasco, this fight is basically a point and click. After Frostburn, I drive to the dust, get the car parts, and then meet up with Bagmar. He's 4 levels under me, but with so much crit damage from merging, it doesn't really matter. What does matter though is this next part. After I hit level 10, I need to farm 2 guns from the vendor, a Jacob shotgun and a Vladov rocket launcher. Normally during speedruns, this is a massive reset point since this can take anywhere from 10 seconds all the way up to 10 minutes sometimes. And since I only have one shot at this, I need these items fast. But you know what's better than getting these items fast? Already having them. Well, one of them. In Frostburn, I was lucky enough to actually get the shotgun early from a badass psycho, which means all I need here is the launcher, and thankfully, it only took 5 vendor checks to get. And now it's time for one of the most broken glitches in Borderlands 2, infinite ammo. The reason why I found a Vladof launcher is the special effect. Every third shot the gun shoots doesn't use ammo, and on old versions of the game you can stack this free shot onto your character. All I do is swap away and back while on the free shot, and that gives me 1 stack of infinite ammo. It's that easy. And when you combine this with a Jacobs shotgun while having shoot on scroll wheel, enemies die kinda fast. Also, I should mention, Gage has a skill where missed shots ricochet towards enemies. Yeah. But if you think that's crazy, wait until you see Bloodshot Super Skip. Normally this area takes a while to get through, but thanks to the power of grenade jumps, I'm able to clip out of bounds. I then make my way over to this pipe where I do a precise grenade lineup to get on top. And from here I do a double grenade jump where I throw a grenade straight up and another straight down. If I get the timing right, I can get a double boost and barely make it on top of the map. I can then jump down and come into Roland's cell from behind, completely skipping all of Bloodshot's stronghold. I then rush through all the enemies and ramparts and kill Warden before Roland even finishes talking. At this point in the run, I won't be stopping to farm any XP, so I need to rely on the kills I can get while running through the maps. This shotgun does make that easy, but things will get progressively harder the more underleveled I get. I meet Tina, grab her badonkadonks, then bleed out and die to death warp back to her faster. After that, I blow up a train and move on to the next map. As soon as I enter, I down myself and do another death warp. Since I haven't hit any save stations here, it spawns me at the fast travel, which is conveniently at the end of the map. I then will kill Helm in a single second. Back at Sanctuary, I get insanely lucky and find a random shotgun upgrade. I was going to farm a second shotgun later, but now I don't have to. When I get to the fridge, I start checking vendors since amp shields can now start spawning. These shields will be extremely useful for dealing damage later in the run. I buy a decent one and then enter Outwash. This area is pretty simple. With a couple of grenade jumps, I can skip directly to the end and kill the Thresher before it becomes gluttonous. I then grab the beacon and take it to Overlook. You guys probably know about Overlook skip by now, but in case you don't, there's a way to skip all the combat here. What you do is save quit after placing the beacon, and this will cause it to break. Then you just repair it and save quit again. If you repeat this 7 times, Overlook will auto-complete. You don't need to face any enemies. Now let's talk about the second skill that makes Gage so powerful, Buck Up. If my shield is low, Death Trap will recharge it for a short time. But if you fast travel while this is happening, the effect stays on your character permanently, at least until you save quit. You can also stack this multiple times to get even faster recharge rate. This glitch allows me to push through the game without needing to farm that much experience. I can still die if the enemy's attack deals more damage than my shield, but this helps a lot. In Wildlife, Claptrap warns me about overleveled enemies for some reason. He must have had his eye stolen again because he's obviously not looking at this gameplay. For this map, I do a few alternate paths to skip the save stations for a future death warp coming up. There's also a cool door skip you can do here to avoid the badass loader. Thanks to Gearbox's inability to make solid walls, we're able to skip a surprising number of combat encounters. There's even a way to hit Bloodwing's cutscene from out of bounds. When I get to Bloodwing, I shoot her with 1 trillion bullets, which actually doesn't kill her somehow. I then crush myself on the elevator. Since I skipped all the save stations, I spawn right back at the fast travel. Save quitting is faster, but since I'm now stacking Buck Up, I won't be save quitting for the rest of the run. Once I get to Brick's initiation fight, it goes how you'd expect. On the way back, I hit level 15, which not only gets me the new shotgun upgrade, but I get to equip my first amp shield. Believe it or not, but amp shields will be most of my damage in this run. Since I'm merging these snipers for extra crit damage, every crit I land deals roughly 12 times more damage. And this crit damage also multiplies amp damage as well, which means I'm getting 12 times more amp damage than what's shown on the card. On top of that, in this version of the game, amp damage gets applied to all the pellets of the shotgun. And with buck up glitch recharging my shield constantly, I end up doing a lot of damage. You may be wondering why I need so much damage, and it's mainly because of late game. The more underleveled I get rushing through the game, the more damage reduction the enemies get. And at the end of the game, enemies will be very tanky. Also, more damage is just faster. I get to opportunity and Jack's body double did not stand a chance. I clear through this map in about 2 minutes and then start the ascent up to the bunker. I grenade jump past the death barrier early, then I kill the first required constructor. After that, I politely knock on the door with a few bullets, then murder the badass constructor before it lands. I get another buck up stack, then enter the bunker. This area has 11 turrets that randomly spawn around the map. They can be a bit annoying depending on the spawns I get, but it wasn't too bad. I kill the last one, then get to a specific spot to manipulate the bunker. After the cutscene, the bunker will randomly choose one attack cycle based on where you are on the map. So by standing here, I can guarantee it won't give me a slow cycle. My accuracy for the fight isn't the best, but I still managed to one cycle. Up next is Control Core Angel. This area is just a bunch of mobbing, so not a lot to talk about. One thing I forgot to mention though is throughout the run, I've been doing dialogue skips. If you use the starting dialogue of side quests at the right time, you can use that dialogue to speed up some sections, and this trick is used a lot here. After Roland dies or whatever, I get to Iridium Blight and do a cool car skip while driving to Sawtooth. I even do a completely intentional 360 because I'm just cool like that. Sawtooth is one of the most brutal areas in the speedrun. I'm currently 9 levels under some enemies, so I need to either kill them before they kill me or run past and hope for the best. Surprisingly though, I make it to Boombringer and retreat without going down once. Mortar though, he went down instantly. Even with the crazy damage reduction, I still do a lot of damage if I'm hitting crits point blank. Enemies far away though, that's a different story. But all in all, this was a very good Sawtooth. With less than 20 minutes to beat the game, I travel to Boneyard. For the most part I can just run past all the bandits, but Pump Station 2 is a struggle with the confined combat. I managed to get to the valves, then death warp closer to the final pumping station. An RPG loader did want to destroy my car, but my shotgun changed his mind. I then drive up this rock and travel to Badlands. I grenade jump over the gate and get to Saturn. He is very tanky and has no crit spot, so killing him would take a long time. I need to run past and pray to God he doesn't step on me. I cleanly run through the last enemies and figure out Warrior's location. At this point I look at the time and notice there's only 13 minutes left to kill Jack and touch the vault key. This makes me quite nervous, so I try not to look and focus on the run. I do my best to kill the loaders here as quickly as possible and then enter Hero's Pass. This area is a very common run killer. You're completely at the mercy of enemies. If they decide they want to kill you, they will. And getting a second wind at this level isn't very feasible. I deploy Death Trap for a distraction, but he died instantly. Luckily that was still enough to escape without getting hit. I grenade jump through the rest of the map, then kill the last 2 enemies before entering the vault. With 5 minutes left and very sweaty hands, I land 2 risky grenade jumps and make it over to the cutscene. Normally being 12 levels under here would be very bad, but thanks to my insane damage setup, Jack and the warrior melt in seconds. After only 2 cycles, the warrior falls, and just like that, I touch the vault key and hit Alt F4 to immediately stop my playtime. With 1 minute and 49 seconds to spare, I actually did it. I successfully completed the whole game in just under 2 hours on my new Steam account. But the big question is, was this enough to get my Steam refund and my money back? Yes, it was.